What's good, y'all? It's your girl Clarissa Lachey, aka Unapologetic Shay. Welcome to my YouTube channel, baby. Okay, in this video, I'm going to be sharing my solo travel trip to Costa Rica. I went to Costa Rica for my birthday at the beginning of this year in January. I ended up spending 7 days there. It was absolutely amazing, and I cannot wait to go back. I'm definitely looking forward to my second trip to Costa Rica. I met several friends. Like, okay, it was a vibe. It was a trip. Almost got kidnapped, but you know, it's okay. I made it. Like, I'm good. I'm Gucci. So yeah. Originally, I was planning for my Costa Rica trip literally starting maybe in May. May of 2021, I knew for my 25th birthday that I was going to be going to Costa Rica. I'm traveling outside the country. So I started planning this early on. I had like a few friends in mind, several friends in mind that I wanted to invite, but like a few that I was like, maybe they could actually come. So originally it was gonna be a group trip. I just wanted to have fun with my friends. There's already people in mind that I would love to invite out with me. So I reached out to those people and I was like, yo, 2025, wanna go to Costa Rica. They were all like, yes, give me the details. And realistically, it came down to how long we're gonna be there. I already knew in my hearts of hearts that I was going to be there at least 5 days. I'm like, if I'm going out the country, it's not going to be a 3-4 day trip. Like, it's going to be at least down near a week. I really would love to go for 2 weeks, right? So I'm leaving Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I'm coming back Sunday night. Now, in the ideal world, that made perfect sense because I was really going off my schedule and my availability, and I realized that Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is the middle of the week, and you know, not everybody's schedule is built like that where they could just take time off. I wasn't thinking about that. I was thinking so much about just going to Costa Rica. So turns out nobody was able to go. So December 15th, no, maybe like December 10th, I realized I was going to Costa Rica by myself. So at that point, I was like, okay. I started looking up everywhere, like, where am I gonna go? Because originally I was going to stay in La Fortuna, Costa Rica, because they had a really nice resort. They got the Baldy Hot Springs, which, by the way, I ended up visiting for the day of my birthday. It was so amazing. I just pictured this just very, like, nice getaway massages and being pampered. It ain't go like that, because I was gonna pay for that shit by myself. Okay, like that was such a the room that I got it was really nice. It was really nice. It was really, really nice. It was a little bit out of my budget. Okay. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go to where does my flight land? Because if I'm going by myself, I don't have a travel companion. I don't speak Espanol. All I know is a few words. Hola, ¿cómo estás? So I was like, okay, I'm going solo dolo. How am I gonna get around? Should I get an Uber? So like at first the plan was just for me to get a rental car because I was like, I'll feel much safer with me driving and not having to worry about getting kidnapped in Costa Rica. But I had like a little kinks, like, okay, is all the streets gonna be in Spanish? Is every restaurant, like, why wouldn't it be? Like, it's Costa Rica. Like, I'm like, okay. But the more I thought about it, the more I was realizing, like, it's just not, like, Uber exists. I found out that Uber is a really, like, common way to get around. It was probably one of the safest ways, especially for tourists to get around, especially because you're not from that area. If you cannot read in Spanish or you don't understand the signs in Spanish or understand like the markings of the road in another country, it would probably be best for you not to be on that road, okay? And I knew better. So up until like maybe a couple weeks, I was going to, honestly a few days, I had changed my mind to go ahead and just get Uber when I get there. To solidify this trip, because I knew I was going solo, I had already pre-booked for my hotel. Of course, my flight had been paid. Like I booked all my excursions before I even got there. I was like, I'm going, even if it's by myself. So fast forward, I get there. My first day in Costa Rica was amazing. Okay, I got there around 2 o'clock. First of all, let me just tell you, I've never been through like the immigration line. Obviously, I never left the country. For whatever reason, when I got through the immigration line. It took me 2 hours later after my flight had landed. That is how many people. I was so irritated. But once I got there were taxi people already waiting. Come to find out, you can't really get Uber to pick you up from the airport. I don't know if they got laws against it. So yeah, first day I go in and I view my hotel room. It was nice. It was a vibe. I'm thinking the curfew law is at 11 p.m. So I'm like, this is still early. Like, it's 7 o'clock. Let me go ahead and get ready. So I get dressed. I put on this dress and I say I'm going to the club. First night by myself in a foreign country. Don't speak the language, but I'm going to the club by myself. And I did, bitch. I go to the club and it looks like it was a gay club. It was a gay bar. So I sit down, you know, I order me a drink. This person comes on stage and she's lip syncing. I don't really know what pronouns they were, but I know that they were lip syncing to Rihanna. And I was like, oh, this is a vibe. So, you know, I pull out my little phone, I'm recording. And then they get off stage and this man comes on stage and he starts dancing to Genuine's My Pony. And I was like, okay. He's dancing, he's doing his routine. He did like a little performance and then like another guy joined him and then it was all of them up there. Even the DJ got on there and I was just like, oh wow. I've never been to a strip club, male or female, and I was shook. Like while I'm there, I just in the moment just enjoying the show. And this cutest boy ever walks up to me. He comes over. He doesn't know no damn English. I don't know much Spanish at all. Like, but we know like certain words. He says, you know what? I got a friend who can translate. He lives in Florida. And I said, okay. Turns out he didn't know that, man. He just found out. He overheard the guy say that he lived in Florida. So he just pulled this random guy to have us conversate back and forth. He's just translating for us. Like, the night was cool, and then it ends, right? I'm like, oh, okay, it's still early enough. It's not 11 yet. I'm just gonna walk outside and call an Uber. Girl, why I found out in that moment that, oh, curfew's at 10 o'clock. Ain't no Uber. You gotta find you a taxi. What? Mind you, one thing that I kept in mind is that the safest route when you're traveling in Costa Rica is Uber. The least safest way of transportation if you're a foreign traveler is motorcycles, bicycles, or riding in taxis. So I had this in mind and I'm a little bit tipsy and I'm like, oh my God. So the guy that I met, that I was talking to at the club, he was like, oh, it's okay. I'll walk with you to find an Uber. Like, I mean, a taxi because I'd rather you be safe. At first, he was like, on the way, we could stop at another club. I said, oh, okay. I had on me was a little mace and I'm wearing heels and I'm walking down the street in heels because I didn't bring no backup shoes. So we walking down the street and we get to approaching a crossway, like, you know, we cross to get to the other side, and I noticed, oh, I forgot to include, he had another friend who actually did live in the United States. It wasn't a guy that I was translating. This friend showed up towards the end. He was hella cool. He wasn't about that shit, but you wasn't about to play with him. Okay, that's the type of dude he was. And so I was like, okay, I felt cool. Like, their energy was cool. Like, I was vibing with them. So I'm like, oh, fuck it. I'm already here. I already done broke the damn curfew because I don't have nowhere to go. So my first night, I'm a little shook. So we get to the crossway. And I noticed that right as we're about to cross, there's two guys who approach the corner. Like, to me at the sidewalk. So if we would cross, they would have met us there. And they was sitting out. So one thing about San Jose, downtown San Jose at night, is that a lot of homeless people are everywhere downtown. So after we see them approach up, one of the dudes was like, we not crossing this way. He hands me his bag. He says, hold this. He adjusts himself. He do whatever he needs to do to get himself ready and prepared for what is about to happen. The other dude, just as tipsy as I am, child, we like, what do we need? I'm like, I was some mace on me. So I grabbed my little mace, put it in my hand, like, to make sure the nozzle was turned. I made sure it was like faced outward. I'm over here, like, making sure, checking. There was not much I could do. I was wearing heels in a tight ass dress, walking down San Jose, downtown at motherfucking night after curfew. So we ended up crossing that, like, across adjacent. Is that how you would say that? Instead of going straight ahead, we just gonna go ahead and cross this way. So we cross this way, and there's this little boy sitting down. Like, he looked at least about 14, 15. He was young. He looked like an adolescent. And he, like, reaches out towards me, and he's, like, asking for money or something. And I'm just like, a part of me felt bad because did I have a little bit of money to give? I probably did. But the thing is, we were already in a situation where I'm not trying to put myself in a situation where I get robbed. I mean, you know what I mean? So I felt like so bad. So they are watching us. Like, the dudes across the street, they're watching us. And so the other dude is looking around. I don't know if I should give these people names, but I don't want to confuse myself. So Jay and A. So A is a tipsy guy. He on my level. And Jay, he the vigilant. He ain't about to let nothing pop off. He notices a taxi pull up. He said, we're going to get this taxi and take us to the club because if we walk, somebody's going to go down. And I'm sobering up because I'm really realizing some shit could easily go down. Like, I don't know. So he's like, yeah, but don't worry. Like, I'm going to make sure you get home safely. So we get in the taxi. He takes us to the club, and the dude says, okay, just wait here because we noticed that there's cops on every corner. Like, every other corner there's a cop standing out, and I think it's for the curfew. And so we get to the club, and there's a little line going on, maybe 3 or 4 or 5 people, I can't really remember. And they telling us, oh, y'all gotta sit on the side. But the door to get in the club is right here. Jay walks up and knocks on the door. He pounding on the door so we can go in because it's locked. And A's like, oh no, guys, they're telling us to go around. So we and Jay look at each other like, what the fuck is around? So we follow A. And he leads us to a damn alley or just a sidewalk and say, we just gotta wait here about 15 minutes until the cops leave. I'm like, what? You don't know what? He said, yeah, so like because it's curfew, they're not gonna let us in. Like, you could have said that. Like, that's what I'm thinking. Like, you could have said that before I walked down the street in these fucking hills. I mean, he's like, it's okay. And I'm like, look, I have to pee now. And they're looking around. I'm like, no. So Jay's like, okay, A, are you crazy? Like, he's going off on A. He's like, I'm so upset. He's cussing out in Spanish and in English. And A's just like, he's so awkward and just like. So anyways, I don't know, like, luckily Jay had told the taxi guy to wait, so he did, and so he's like, no, we're going home. I get home safely. Thank you so much to Jay and A. I love y'all so much, okay. I did not know curfew was at 10. I'm online and it's saying 11. Oh, I would have not known what to do on my own because, mind you, it's Costa Rica. It's a Spanish-speaking country. Yes, I knew the risks when I got there, before I got there, and I still took it. So, you know, it is what it is, but I'm just thankful for them. It was a nice little club. Like, if you ever in Costa Rica and you want to go to a gay bar, strip club, it was actually nice. The men were, like, very attractive, and they were very friendly. Like, I got treated really well, real nice respect. I really loved the vibe. I loved the people that I met. I was very shy, I was very taken back, but it was just a nice and whole nice thing. Like, the entertainers, they did their thing. So if you're ever looking for a nice place to go in San Jose, the Wasp is a good place for you to go if you're into that. So I get home, and yeah, the next day I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and I get ready to go on my first excursion, and that is to the La Paz Volcan and the Waterfalls Gardens. I had to remember the name. Anyways, it was such a nice and beautiful tour. The first place that we go to is it's like a coffee plantation. The tour guide gives us an explanation or a tour of how they grow the coffee beans, how they, you know, separate them, how they harvest it, and then they have like the honey bean, they have the white natural or bean, and then the yellow one. So it's like, it was really interesting. I really learned a lot about it. The food was good as fuck. I loved watching how the weather changed so quickly, especially the higher up we got into the mountains. Like, it would be foggy, it'd be misty, it'd be rainy, it was always foggy. Like, it was never sunny. But I loved it. Like, we went on the waterfalls. Oh my God. It was so beautiful. I just did not want to leave. Like, I was in awe. I was in awe. Like, came back. I spent a long ass day there, mind you. So that night I came back, I got dressed real cute, and I didn't go out, but I did know that they were having like something going on at the hotel I was staying at. So I was like, I'm gonna get dressed cute. I dressed up and I ate my dinner, and it was just a vibe. I was like, yeah, this was good. The next day I went on a zipline tour. I'm afraid of heights. But I was like, if I'm gonna go to Costa Rica, I'm gonna have to experience the shit that they be doing. But when I got there, I was so motherfucking scared. And then when I saw what the fuck we was about to do, when I saw that we had to drive halfway up the mountain and then hike another 20 minutes up before I could zip line. So I climbed the top of that mountain, and he's giving me we sit down, we talk, he's like showing me some pictures, like he's a photographer. He's actually really fucking good, actually. He's telling me his interests, like the tour guide is, and I'm like, okay, this is really cool, this is interesting. So he's also starts telling me the instructions, how I could possibly injure myself if I pull my arm back, or if I let go or do some shit and my arm can get cut off. I'm like, hold on, there's a lot of risk. And he's like, you're good, you're okay, just do what I say and don't mess up and you're okay. Okay. I followed the instructions to the T, because I was not trying to lose a limb. I was not trying to die. It was so fun. Like, it was amazing. Like, I was on a trip high. Like, I was on an adrenaline rush. The tour guides were amazing. It was two of them. They helped me up and down. Like, they cheered me on. They took video footage of me. I was lit. I was so motherfucking tired though. That took a lot of my energy. So I actually went home and chilled in the pool. I ate. Someone was playing a piano that night, so it was actually really good. I had to go on the excursion that I was waiting for. The reason why I booked the trip, okay? That was going to be the Areno volcano in Baldy's hot spring. I booked it on the day of my birthday because I was like, I just need my birthday to be a relaxing vibe. So mind you, these excursions I'm going on, how I'm getting there is I'm taking bus. Now to go ziplining, I took an Uber. Excursions that I booked, they had like a tourist guide and a tourist bus that they'll take you on. First off, it was like a long ass drive. First of all, like that was like a 13-hour trip. Meaning, like, we went to the volcano first, and then we went to Baldy's Hot Springs. We spent about like 5-6 hours at Baldy's Hot Springs, just relaxing, enjoying the waters, eating good ass food. We had all 3 meals. It was actually good as fuck. Very good. That same day, I actually was supposed to get ready to leave the next day because I was originally had booked my trip to come back Sunday. I decided to change my mind, and I extended my trip to Tuesday. Because I was like, I really want to go to the beach, and I really want to just really actually tour downtown San Jose. I need 2 more days for this. And that's exactly what I did. The next day, I go to a beach. There was a guy that I had met on the day that I went to zipline. He gave me his card. He was a Uber driver, and he said if I needed his services to let him know. So I had that card, and I decided to hit him up. I was like, hey, I really want to go to Huckle Beach, but I have no way of transportation. Is there any way that you'd be available to transport me in the morning? And I would just try to Uber back. He was like, okay. He gives me his flat rate of $100. I was like, god damn. But then I looked up the distance. I was like, okay, this is about a 2-3 hour trip. Okay, I understand. On the way there, he's like, do you need anything to eat? Do you need to stop anywhere? I'm like just enjoying the scenery. We end up like going to this little marketplace, and it was like a river with crocodiles, and he was like, do you want to go look at the crocodiles? I did, and they was big as fuck. I was like, oh my god, these crocodiles are so cute. They named like one big ass motherfucker his name was Bin Laden. The other big ass motherfucker name was Mike Tyson, and I'm like, these are big ass lizards. I love all animals. I love all creatures in their natural habitat. And they had all these other baby crocodiles. I'm like, oh my god, this is a lot. But it was really nice. Like, I ended up buying like a tapestry while I was there. I ended up buying a crocodile too. So like, we stopped at a beach before we get to Hardcore Beach, and it was nice. Like, I picked up some little rocks because I like to collect rocks and seashells and stuff like that. And so I'm just enjoying it. I'm like, oh, this is nice. I see other people there. That beach was a little vibe. I was like, oh, I didn't even know there was a beach like this on the way. We could just stop here. But I was like, we already invested in the trip, so he takes me further down the road. When I say further down the road, I'm talking about another hour. Finally, we get to Hawkeye Beach. It's a lot of shopping centers. I walked down to the little beach, and I see like there's a little sitting area, $20 to sit underneath the umbrella. I was like, okay, I'll pay for it because I brought some items with me. I'm sitting, I'm relaxing, and 5 minutes later, next thing I know, somebody trying to sell me this, somebody's trying to sell me that, and then the dude get comfortable and sit in the chair next to me, and I'm just like, and I know my face is very expressive, but I just think he was intentionally ignoring the expression on my face. And so I had to politely tell him, like, look, you know, I just want to just come here and relax. You know, he was teaching me some Spanish. At first, it was very entertaining. Like, you know, he was having me repeat it back. And I was like, okay, I'm engaged. But the end game was he was trying to sell me something. I knew that, and I picked game. And I was just like, okay, I'm just trying to hurry and speed this process up. He leaves. Not even 5 minutes later, another man selling like some mangoes, which I did buy some mangoes though because I was a little hungry. Like the mangoes look good, so I bought a mango. But give me some sauce on it. It was actually really good as fuck. I don't know what it is about fruit in Costa Rica, but them pineapples, my mouth is just getting watery thinking about it. But the pineapples were good. They were good. So I go ahead and get a mango. Go ahead, go on. I'm like, okay, I'm not trying to draw so much attention to myself, so I pull up my book and I start reading. First dude comes back. He got some more ideas, some more shit that he want to sell me, but it's okay because he cool people, but at the same time, you disrupt my peace. I tell him while I'm there, I tell him, oh, yesterday's my birthday, so he gives me this cute little bracelet. It says Costa Rica. He's like, this is for you. This is cute. Like, I really love it. So he goes and gives me this for my birthday, but of course, he's still trying to run game. And so I'm just like, I'm entertaining him in conversation because he is actually funny and he is teaching me Spanish words. But I'm like, I'm not here to buy what you're selling. I'm really just trying to chill and relax. That was like really my mood. But working on boundaries, working on setting boundaries. And so I was a little bit like, okay, taken back, but it is what it is. So he leaves. He finally, like, actually he comes and takes my order because the guy actually worked there. I mean, I figured this because he was selling me stuff. Anyways, so I do order some food because I was hungry. So I ordered some like a red fish, or I can't remember what the fish was called, but it was good as fuck. It was delicious. And some like plantain fries. They were good as fuck. Very delicious. Another woman comes. She looks at me. She's like, oh, you like crystals? And I was just like, yo, I've been here like maybe an hour and a half, and I don't even think I had 10 minutes to myself. So she's running game, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. I called the Uber driver back. I said, look, I'm ready to go. Are you still in the area? He says, yes. So I meet him at this place, and yeah, it's about another long ass drive. But I get back home safely, and I'm like, all right, cool. Yeah. I had to pay him another $100 for him to take me back. And I was like, God damn. Like, I was not expecting that. Mind you, Ubers in Costa Rica are very, very cheap, very inexpensive to what it is in the United States. For me to get from one place, like, that's like another 20 minutes, it's like $6. Whereas in Houston, in here where I stay, if you're going anywhere for 20 minutes, you're already almost paying $25, $30. So I was like, God damn, like, this is a big charge. And he's like, well, for gas and all this. And I'm like, well, I get it. I understand. Like, I can't be too upset because I did have to say he provided safe transportation for me. But I felt like I was, like, getting a little played. So I was really taken back from that. I was like, you know, I was under the impression that was $100 for the whole trip. But that is on me because I didn't clarify that with him when he offered to take me back. But I digress. I get home. I'm chilling. I'm like, what do I want to do? I'm going to the club. At this club, I meet about 4 or 5 people, maybe like 2 minutes after I get there. Like, at first I sit down, I order my tequila. I'm sitting, it's a vibe, like, it's nice, lights going on, music's like as well, like, it's lit, it's nice. People are dancing, and like I said, about 10 minutes of me sitting there, someone approaches me and they say, hey, I noticed that you're by yourself. Do you want to come and join me and my friends? So I go and join his table, and I noticed that he has like 3 other friends there, 3 other guy friends, and there was a female, another young lady, and I get to talking to with his cousin. So I ended up going back, hanging out at their place because it was curfew is still 10 o'clock. The club closed at 9:30. So Eric invites me to hang out with him and all his friends. His cousin Matthew was very entertaining. He reminded me so much of me. Like, I felt like I met one of my soul tribe members, because when we got there, it was at one point where we were just talking in his backyard. He has all these plants around, and I'm like enamored by nature. I love nature. I love sitting in nature. I love plants. I love anything to do with nature. And so he grew them all himself, and we were talking about our, very odd and eccentric personality traits. And I was like, yeah, this is a fucking vibe. Like, I was really like engulfed. Is that a correct term to use? By his energy, and it was like we were on the same frequency. Like, I loved it. So I hung out with them. I got to know all of them on an individual level. Like, we took a group picture, and then there was this girl. She's such a beautiful soul. I'm gonna call her Rose, because she reminds me of a pretty flower. Lily, I don't know, but she was so cute. Like, we talked for a while. She made me this bracelet, or she gave me this bracelet that she had made. And so she says that she makes these bracelets for the owner or the wearer of the bracelet to keep safe. And so I told her I'm never going to take it off. Now, I have taken it off to get this tattoo done. But for the most part, I've always worn it, and I was like, I really do appreciate it. Like, I did. And so I broke curfew, and I didn't have no other way to get home. So they order us a taxi and say, like, hey, we're gonna get you home. We're gonna make sure you get home safe. So that's one thing that I can say. Life happens anywhere. There's good, there's bad. But when I was in Costa Rica, I always felt safe. I always felt taken care of. I always felt like my ancestors and my guardian angels and spirit guides were with me. I always felt comfortable. Anytime I was even in a risky situation, I didn't have that paranoia. I didn't have that fear. I was very like in tune with my environment. Even when I was a little intoxicated, I just knew that there was something keeping me safe. And one thing I can say about many of the Costa Ricans that I met was that pura vida, that energy that they enumerate, that there are so many friendly, kind people exist in this world, and a lot of them I met in Costa Rica. Like, everywhere I went, I met someone new. People were very social. People were engaging. I just never felt like I was alone, even though I went to a whole nother country by myself. When I was in Costa Rica, I felt like I was in the moment. I was able to enjoy life. I wasn't on social media. I wasn't worried about, what other people were doing or going on. I was living, and I was being, and I was in a bliss. Like, I really enjoyed myself, and I really, really enjoyed all the people that I met. Like, my ass almost got into some shit on my first night. But I really enjoyed that trip for what it was and everything that I learned from it. The people that I met especially, like, made the trip worthwhile, because it's like, you're never lonely in a world this size. It's all about you getting out there and taking that initiative to meet someone. And it was so easy for me to meet someone and just have a good conversation. Like, any person I engaged with, it was a conversation, whether there was a language barrier or not. Just that communication and that willingness to understand the other person for who they are is really important. And so that's what that trip really taught me. It was more than just the experience, but also the lessons and the knowledge and the wisdom that I gained from it. And just knowing that anything that I do, anything that I set my mind to, anything that I want to do and accomplish, I can do it. It all just starts with me getting up and doing just that. It does take a lot of courage to get out of your comfort zone, but it also, so much more comes from it when you do. That's all I have to say for the closing of this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. And yeah, thank you for watching. Go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, share the video if you want to. And yeah, it's your girl, Clarissa Lachey, aka Unapologetic Shay. Welcome to my YouTube channel, baby.